What's up, everybody? It's the Mr. Straight Facts Show. I am Mr. Straight Facts. Let's get to the facts of the day. Pete Hegseth, he was being spoken to by a couple senators, and we're going to talk about it. One was Elizabeth Warren. They've been trying to box this man into some questions about what he'll do with the military, knowing that he's incompetent. They have to ask these questions because he's no Mark Esper, if you know what I mean. So we're going to go ahead and listen to what the questions she had for him. And we're going to see what he had to say to it and go from there. Him, and I think it was another one that spoke to Alyssa Slock, and we'll go with her after this. Let's get it.
If the Supreme Court orders you to remove troops from American cities, will you do so?
As I've said, Senator, I don't believe district courts should determine national security policy, but if the Supreme Court rules on a topic, we will abide by that.
So her question was not answered. He went around the corner trying to, at the Supreme Court, he's saying the regular courts don't matter. So I guess anybody can say that, and I guess it's because he's the president, that the regular courts don't matter. Then why you got to go through them? The regular courts matter. The final say, if it's taken up by the Supreme Court. You see what I'm saying? And here's the crazy part. What if the Supreme Court doesn't even take it up? There is nothing that says the Supreme Court has to take up something that they don't think that it's like, why would I even take that? They have a discretion to say, we're just going to roll with what the federal courts below us said, Ninth District, whatever. Yeah, we agree with that. We don't think it deserves to be a Supreme Court deal. So you're telling me that you shouldn't abide by it unless it's the Supreme Court? Doesn't sound right, does it? Doesn't sound right at all. How you doing, DJ? I see you. Mark D, I see you. Brenda and Kristen, I see y'all. Thank you for coming in. So what does that mean to say that you're not going to listen to the courts, but the Supreme Court, but maybe? I mean, the dictatorship is thick. For him to think that he has no repercussions in this room, these are his bosses. They are the equal branch of the laws. There's three. They're co-equal, meaning they all have the same powers. Equal meaning equal. One of them holds the purse, which means Donald Trump can order all he wants. He doesn't have the money to do it. The laws are a reason we have the judicial, because if you do something unlawful, whether you be a senator or whether you be from the judicial, but as far as legislative, and if you're going from the executive, if the court sees something that you did wrong, they're able to rein you in. That's why it's called co-equal. And these people act like Donald Trump is King Trump. What he says goes, 100%. No questioning it. Just the mere fact that the people around him are saying that is scary. Very scary. Now we're going to go with Elizabeth Warren. I think it was Alyssa Slock today, where she was asking Pete Hegseth another question, which has merit, but check out how he treats it. It's crazy.
Have you given the order to be able to shoot at unarmed protesters in any way? I'm just asking the question. Don't laugh. Like the whole country. And by the way, my colleagues across the aisle.
What is that based on? What evidence would you have that an order like that has ever been given?
Giving that order to your predecessor, to a Republican Secretary of Defense, who I give a lot of credit to because he didn't accept the order. He had more guts and balls than you because he said, I'm not going to send in the uniformed military to do something that I know in my gut isn't right. He was asked to shoot at their legs. He wrote that in his book.
Senator, I'd be careful what you read in books and believing it, except for the Bible.
Oh my God.
Listen to her say, oh my God, at the end of that. Oh my God, this idiot. Oh my God. You're looking at a Fox News host who served in the military. That's it. Not anybody special. There are millions of people who have the same level of military experience that will raise their hand on the Bible and say, I have been in war, but I am not of the grade to run the military. It takes a special type of arrogance and stupidity to want to be the head of something you barely can spell. He is out of his league by far. But what he has is a boatload of arrogance. A boatload. And that's what he's running off of, arrogance. The minute something happens in America, something that goes off, I really want to ask y'all a question. And I don't wish this on anything at all, but I really got a question for MAGA and even my brothers and sisters who aren't MAGA. Ask yourself a real question right now. If 9/11 were to happen today, do you have faith that any of these dipshits could actually handle it? Do you have faith that they would know what the hell to do? I don't. I do not. They have fired all the people that are qualified for the most part. A bunch of sycophants that does whatever Donald Trump says, and Donald Trump is Mr. Bone Spurs. Put Donald Trump in a situation of having to go to war, he would piss his pants. All this nonsense, everybody's like tripping off of Donald Trump saying, I'm going to, maybe I will, maybe I won't. Donald Trump is a punk bitch, okay? He said no 5 times to go to the military. This is not a man made of manhood. He is straight bitch. So you guys thinking that, no. He loves playing tough. Like, when you used to play with little army men, that's as close as he got to being an army man. Having those little green men back in the day. He'll call up an order and be all excited, but it's just like ordering a Big Mac. This fool don't know shit about what he's doing. Not a damn thing does he know what he's doing. He's scared of everything. Think about it. He can't really even make a decision. He's always, maybe, could be, 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks from now. Never a definite, always a mystery. While he's tearing up the democracy, he's over here putting up this big show saying, you never know, we know where he's at. I have no doubt they have no fucking clue where this man is at. I don't trust Trump as far as I could pick up the earth and throw that bitch. I don't trust him. I don't believe anything that comes out of his mouth. If he promises you something, it ain't gonna happen. It is Russ Vought, Stephen Miller. Those are the people that you should be worried about. The figurehead dude, we're gonna talk about him later. Trump is the biggest loser. And I'm not kidding. He's the biggest loser. Donald Trump is a facade. And I'll tell you about it later, because one of the things I did today, I went on a hunt, because we always talk about Donald Trump as, destroyed or bankrupted 6 casinos. What's so tripped is I've never went to go look and see how he lost them. So we're going to go over a little bit of all 6 and how long he even had them. Some of them went bankrupt within 6 months of him getting them. And then you start to realize, it's like, why would people keep putting crazy amount of money into a loser? We're going to go into that in a little bit, but let's go with this first. So this man said, where did she get this from, Alyssa Slotkin? Where did she get this from? That tells you right now that this man has never watched anything but Fox, because he was on Fox. And the thing that's crazy, Fox got this information. They just chose not to watch it. And the crazy part is, he didn't even watch it behind the scenes. That footage was at Fox. They didn't air it, but it was there for them to see. And he literally blocked it out and didn't even watch it. On 60 Minutes, they asked Mark Esper what he just said. Where'd you get this from? Don't believe every book you read. It's like, it came out of the horse's mouth, fool. The man was sitting right next to him in a room with a bunch of people. Let's listen to it.
What was the most disturbing thing that the president said during that meeting on June 1st?
The president is ranting at the room. He's using a lot of, foul language. You all are effing losers, right? And then he says it to the vice president, Mike Pence. He's using the same language, and he's looking at Pence.
He called Mike Pence an effing loser?
He didn't call him directly, but he was looking at him when he was saying it.
You gotta understand something. Mark Esper is a lifelong Republican. And he's a Republican from the ilk of, a Mike Pence. So to see this crappy orange turd-filled, a weakling talk that way to someone that he respects because they've been lifelong Republicans and they're kissing the butt of a Democrat who went over to Republican. Oh, it must hurt him when he saw the way he treated Mike Pence.
And it really caught my attention. And I thought that we're at a different spot now. He's going to finally give a direct order to deploy paratroopers into the streets of Washington, D.C., and I'm thinking with weapons and bayonets. And this would be horrible.
What specifically was he suggesting that the U.S. military should do to these protesters?
He says, can't you just shoot them? Just shoot them in the legs or something. And he's suggesting that that's what we should do, that we should bring in the troops and shoot the protesters.
The commander-in-chief.
So he just said what he asked them to do. And other people around, he wasn't the only one. He's the only one that spoke up about it. I sneeze. But I believe Mark Esper, not Trump. And Pete Hegseth never heard of this from his mouth. And he thinks she got it from a book. It came out of his mouth.
Was suggesting that the U.S. military shoot protesters.
Yes, in the streets of our nation's capital. That's right. Shocking.
We have seen in other countries a government use their military to shoot protesters.
Right.
What kind of governments are those?
Well, those are banana republics, right, or authoritarian regimes. We all remember Tiananmen Square, right?
China. He's talking about Tiananmen Square. But Donald Trump said this to shoot people in the legs. Military doesn't shoot rubber bullets. They shoot live rounds. So he's saying shoot American citizens who are protesters, peacefully protesting. But if he doesn't like it, cap him. And Mark Esper said no. She's asking Pete Hegseth, are you going to say no too? And he comes out, where'd you hear that from? That's so weird. Where'd you get that from? I never heard such a thing. Maybe if you had did your fucking homework on the job in which you took, you would know what your predecessor did, so therefore you can understand what not to do or what to do. You're in a position where nobody educated you on how to do said job. No training. And he's a leader with no training. The last thing this man knew about anything was, and we got to count down, and you're about to go live in 5, 4, 3, 2. That's the last fucking thing he knew. And here he is running the military when they didn't even trust him to be on mainstream news, like prime time. He was on the weekend, sidekick. He was that sidekick reporter, like the person on the side. He wasn't your main squeeze. He's a side chick. That's who he is. The side chick running the damn country as far as like the military. The dude whom his employer said, you good, but just on the weekend. And that guy goes in and becomes the head of something. An alcoholic. Dude brought a drink on the floor of speaking to other leaders and said he doesn't drink anymore. Jesus Christ. But yeah, Mark Esper, I trust him. Even though he's a Republican, I think these people have a come to Jesus moment once they left. This shit should have been said while he was there. But there is something to say about keeping, even though they're Republican, keeping some sanity in the House so that you can talk this idiot down, meaning Trump. Now, with no sense and a bunch of sycophants, the crazy, batshit crazy stuff that comes out of Trump's head is now in order to do it because nobody else is going to hold him responsible. We got to go to court, which takes forever, which ends up giving him a stay, which allows him to continue to do the illegal shit until they go to court. It's insane. Our system needs to be fixed to some degree. There's no way. You should not be able to have a stay. You should have to stop until you guys figure out if it's right or wrong. And if you find out what he's doing is wrong down the line, you've allowed him to continue for weeks until the case is over. You should stay it on the opposite side of stop it. Stop said thing until we figure it out. That way, if it's illegal, I didn't condone you doing more illegal shit for the coming weeks to come or month. You would think that's logical in the laws. It makes no sense. Think about it for a second. If you knew somebody had committed a crime, let's say against a child, right? And let's say they're just beating the child. They just committed a crime. And I say, I'm not beating the child. The child just keep on falling. It's accident prone. It ain't got nothing to do with me. And you take it to court. You don't take the child right away. In most cases, they would. But in this situation, they're saying, hey, child, stay at the home. But the child has a broken arm and there ain't no trees in their yard. He said he fell out of a tree. What tree? Well, we don't know for sure. We'll figure it out. That kid will be dead before we get back to the court. Why the hell would you continue to let this person beat this child until you figure it the fuck out? You would say, no, take the child away until we figure out if it's the parent or if this kid just has a weird feeling of climbing trees and jumping. But you wouldn't hand it right back to the person that said he's being abused by his parents. Here it is, Donald Trump breaking laws, sending people to California that shouldn't be here because the way the law is, the government should do it. And these judges are like, oh, let's put a stay on it. One said, okay, take them away. Another one, put a stay on it. For what? If anything, you should say it has to stop until we figure it out. Therefore, Donald Trump has got to send them back. And then if you say yay, he sends them right back. But if not, they're gone. They're not causing the problem. This stuff doesn't make sense. These laws don't make sense. If anything I'm learning about this menace, this era of this hell called Trump, is that our laws are too weak for people who are in power. If I was doing something like this as a citizen, if you was doing something as a citizen, you would not see the light of day until they figured it out. They would tell you to stop doing what you were doing or what you was accused of doing, separate the two so these things would not happen until you go to court and figure it out, and then you act accordingly. But they're giving him leeway when the law and the precedent says you have to have the governor in this process, especially seeing as how There's only one riot, 2 cars, those way whatever cars, the cars that drive by themselves. Those cars got burnt. It was like 15 people out there doing that. There was 10,000 or more, tens of thousands of people out there. You got 15 people out of tens of thousands. This is what I was telling people at their last protest that they just did. Just don't commit any kind of crimes, because again, your message is stronger than your anger. You got millions of people, estimated 6 million people out there. If one incident happens, which there was one, you'll hear about that incident forever. Because the opposition is going to put millions of dollars behind marketing. Look, there was a person shot, there was this, that, and the third. They do it all the time, even if it was a Republican. This Vance dude, Republican, ends up shooting 4 and would have shot 8. 2 homes were not there. People at homes wasn't there. 8 or more, if their kids were there. And they put so much marketing behind saying that dude was a Democrat, a liberal. And they still doing it. There are people on TikTok, that have like 1 million followers that are Republican, MAGA. They're still saying they can't believe it, that the government must have done something wrong. I'm like, what evidence do you have? They don't need evidence. They just need their feelings. That's all that matters. They don't ever want to admit that it's their side that's sick. They always want to project it onto somebody else. And that's exactly what they've been doing. Putting it on our backs, saying that we got something to do with their crimes, with their sicknesses. They try to put it on us. And Democrats don't come out strong enough. We're always trying to be that in between, like kumbaya. Y'all need to go for their throats when shit like this happens. Point out that it's a Republican. Point out that this is a disease of Republicans, and that there are some crazy Democrats that have done stuff like this before with Steve Scalise. But what did Democrats do? They condemned that Democrat, right? They came out and said this is no place for this type of thing happening. What did Republicans do? Even when Democrats came out and said this is not a place for this, none whatsoever, and they prayed for Steve Scalise and anybody, it ran the news forever. What did Republicans do? They blamed Democrats, Democrat leaders, their rhetoric. It was their fault. This, going on and on and on. They didn't just be humble and say, look, we do need to tamp this down. Both sides need to tamp it down. Let's tamp it down, blah, blah, blah. No, Republicans put on the heat. They put more heat onto this fire, more wood onto this fire. Because they make money off of hate. They make money off of division. And they didn't want to come together. They wanted to split their party even deeper and blame everything on Democrats. This is what kind of people they are, right? And then all of a sudden, here it is. Donald Trump has been shot at twice by Republicans. They blame it on Democrats. This person right here killed Republicans, blaming it on Democrats. They arrested a senator, a mayor, and I forgot the other lady. I think she's a representative in her state, New Jersey. Arrested, or at least they're charging her. Arrested the mayor. Arrested for a hot second. You know, the senator from here, and then the controller. I think either in New York or wherever it was, the controller had him. Maybe in California. I'm not sure where he was from. They had him, the mayor. He was running for mayor, had him arrested, threw him in a room for 3 hours. Ask yourself, when was the last time a Democratic president put people on the street to snatch up and fuck with Republicans? I've never heard of a time like that. That's some dictator shit. That's some Putin shit. That's some President Xi shit. That's some North Korea shit. That's some Russia shit. But it's not us. And here it is. It's us now. Not only are we having parades like other countries, and our parade, God bless the military, sucked beyond belief. They were not prepared for something like this. They just drove by, barely marching. Compare the two. I have seen multiple videos comparing our military and China's military, our military and North Korea's military. You know, our military and Kim Jong-un's military. That's North Korea. I've seen it. And the comparison is sickening. I said we should never do this, not because of, reasons everybody else was saying, because what everybody else was saying was true. I said because it would make our military look weak. Weapons is one thing, but it's the energy behind the people who have those weapons in their hands. Our people look slow. They look lethargic. They look like they didn't want to be there. They were marching and it looked horrible. I'm sitting here like, and again, I just saw clips of this stuff. I didn't watch it. But these different clips that they compared us to other countries, I was like, that's just horrible. That's scary. We looked horrible. And then look out into the audience. You got Melania, look like she done passed out. Donald Trump looking sad, like somebody done stole his fucking lunchbox or some shit. Then you got Pete Hegseth sitting on the side, highly uncomfortable, because he probably can't even spell half the shit that's passing him. It was horrible. So horrible that Fox didn't even show the ratings to it. Still haven't put it out. Not going to. Laughing stock. That's what this country is. Complete fucking laughing stock. We go from like one of the greatest countries in the world to the fucking laughing stock every time this dude is elected. The last time he went somewhere, he was 2006, 17, whatever the hell it was, he went and the United Nations all laughed this fool. I didn't know you was going to laugh about that. Well, you're stupid. Why not? Talking about I did more for America than shit. Probably Abraham Lincoln or George Washington. The entire place cracked the fuck up. Like, what the fuck is this dude talking about? Then he goes to this G7 shit, right? And they isolated the fuck out of this dude. Nobody wanted to even sit next to him. He probably stank. The way they sat around him was like, and everybody else was chatting with each other, like, hey, what's going on? The president of France, and I forgot the lady's name. I don't think she was Germany. But they're sitting there just chatting. Not that they was talking about Donald Trump, but I'm just saying how friendly they were and cracking jokes and rolling their eyes. Just friendly. Countries being friendly with each other. And our president's sitting there, ooh, wow, look at that. It's white. Got a little gold. Yeah, wow, table. Nice. Floor, chair, cup. Looking lost. Like, what the fuck is this dude doing? Nobody wanting to sit next to him. He looking amused at just the table setting. Wonderful. Nobody else want to talk? That's our dude. The slow kid. Who should never be leading anything. It's a damn shame. If Americans looking at him like he's a dipshit, other countries is like, we're going to roll all over him. That's why you got Netanyahu doing shit that Donald Trump didn't even know was going to happen. But because he don't want to look weak, he's sitting there trying to act like, oh yeah, I knew about it. No, you didn't, fool. He went without you. You told him not to do it. You said you didn't want it to happen. Next thing you know, he did it. And here you are. Oh, I was down with it. No, you weren't, because just recently you said you weren't. He forced you into doing it because he knows Donald Trump is stupid. And all he cares about is ratings. So if he had came back and said, I told him no, and he did the opposite, it makes him look weak. So he comes back here with a bunch of empty fucking threats to try and make himself seem like he's hard. And we all know he's a punk. Ain't nothing hard about it. Out there talking all this mess on the plane, everybody reporting it like this dude knows what he's talking about. He's too stupid. But the thing is, he's dumb enough to get us in some shit we don't need to be in. This is why we shouldn't have him as a leader or anybody like him as a leader. I wouldn't want a Democrat or independent in office, as dumb as Trump is. Maybe we should learn. No more dumbasses as president. Republican, Democrat, Independent. None. They say stupid shit. I don't care if you went to Harvard 7 times and got 85 degrees in 7 years. I don't give a fuck. You say something stupid, I'm like, nah, bro. None of this just regularly dumbass saying shit, and then you got all these degrees. I don't want to hear that. You can't make a decision worth a damn. You should not be running a country where you're going to need to make decisions that hold the weight of our kids' lives and our lives, and you can't even manage your own life. You in a diaper, bro. You got on orange makeup that you can never put on correctly. He can't even manage to put his makeup on properly, and you think this fool can manage a country. We all know behind the scenes, they're doing all the work while this dude golfs and applies makeup horrifically. And Tanner. Insane. And like Avira said, it makes her sad that we done lost our allies. Our allies, I mean, come on. I mean, I was watching, this leads me to the next tape I got. I was watching some video of how, and y'all may want to go back and look at it, of how Obama was treated around the world during his first and second presidency, but specifically around his first. It was odd to see, and not in a bad way, in a good way, but it was shocking because I was like, you know, I knew in America we was proud, and specifically black people were proud that he was there doing his thing, and a lot of black people just said, don't fuck this up, just don't fuck this up, they don't want us to do it again, you know, stuff like that. There was a certain sector of black people was like that, and the other ones was like, hey, you know, I'm gonna call you out, whatever you do wrong, you know that, so do what you gotta do. And he turns out to be the highest integrity president we've ever had, never caught in a scandal. And they tried their damnedest. Every 5 minutes, they was looking at something. The scandals they talked about with him was wearing a tan suit. The scandal they was talking about him is having beer with a guy who got pulled over by police officers. The guy that does the, can't remember his name at the top of my head, but he's a black professor. He's on a cane, but he does a lot of those DNA TV shows. I forgot his name. Somebody remember his name for me. But him, he was going into his house and some neighbor called the cops. He got arrested and manhandled and shit like that for getting into his own home. And he ended up having a beer with this man. And they freaked out about that. He gave a black person a fist. And they were like, oh, what is that? Some kind of gang sign? I'm like, the fuck is wrong with these people? Henry Gates Jr., I think it was. Henry Gates Jr., I think is his name. Maybe I'm off. You let me know. But yeah, and they just. My thing was, I was watching how overseas they treated this dude like he was the freaking Beatles. I mean, just beyond. Go back and look at some of those videos. When he was running for president, he did a tour, being around the world, and that fool went around all over the world. We went to Germany, and it was like all as far as you could see. People, he went on a round the world tour. They would have never had anything to do with this man other than us being allies and them wanting an ally in him. It was the most beautiful thing you ever saw. America was respected around the fucking world. Even the pictures that they try to make look all whatever crazy with him and Putin. Putin's short. Obama was looking down at him like, whatever. Trump was all simping. Oh, well, I don't know why he would lie about us. I think it's our problem. Why would he lie to me? He writes me love letters. How weak was that? He's talking about dictators writing him love letters. I don't know about you, and I ain't like phobic at all of any gay phobic shit at all, But I ain't never in my lifetime as a straight man thought of another man writing me a love letter. And we just looked that shit over like it wasn't nothing. And be hyper like hateful toward gay people, bi and trans people, but yet say something so gay as another man wrote me a love letter. We get along. I love him. He loves me. Who the fuck are you, Barney? Who does this shit and still remains strong? That's some weak shit right there. You've never seen any other president in life do this. They're delusional, highly delusional. I've never heard in my life somebody say that they're hard, yet can go around and talk about, I love this guy. He loves me. And I'm like, really? How did you get that? Because I don't see love when somebody tells you, basically just come to my abode and hang out and everything like that. But then goes out and shoots off nuclear weapons as soon as you leave. And these are the things you tell them not to have or not to use. And they were threatening South Korea and all that stuff that was our allies. And this man was just sitting there like, what? I'm like, this dude is hella slow. Hella slow. And we're allowing it. Americans are allowing this. But what it reminded me of, big time, was I realized that I missed Obama. When I saw that, and I saw a clip of it, all around the world, everybody was respecting. I miss him not only for like that, not just because of all the deals he made. You know what I'm saying? Some I liked, some I didn't. You know what I'm saying? But, it is what it is. You can't get everything you want. I understand that as a president, you can't think that every president's going to give you everything they want because other people need things well. So, as long as you get one or two things, you should be good. And that more than happened. But I missed the respect that we got from other countries. I missed the camaraderie that we had with other countries. I missed the safety that we shared with other countries. And here we are, back to a place where fear of other countries bombing us is a reality. We've never been a country where everybody loved us. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that. But our threats, Donald Trump is threatening Iran. Whether he does something or not, the words themselves is going to scare Iran. So what are they going to do? They're going to rain bombs on Israel. Now, we haven't even heard anything else about what, the Houthis? We haven't heard anything else about the Hamas. And anybody got an answer to me for this? Because I've been researching, trying to figure out what the fuck is wrong with Netanyahu. Is he trying to start World War III? Because y'all know behind Syria. Now, I heard something today that I read like this article. I didn't get a chance to fully read the article. I got like the caption in the first couple chapters. You know how they don't get the shit until like page 3 or some shit or whatever, like 15th, some of these articles. So I didn't get all the way into it. I'm going to read it later. But it had an assumption that China was not going to back Iran like it said it was going to do. But that was just one article. But let's just go to reality of what is on Iran's side, right? Iran has Russia on its side. It has China on its side, right? And then you got the Houthis. Then you got Palestinians, right? So you got all them going after Israel. And Israel's the one who's starting it all with all of them. Who next? Netanyahu thinks he like God or something like that. He's the one who's going to force Trump into a war. Because we are partners with them, allies with them, if they go to war, which we have American citizens over there, military as well, then we got to defend. We'll be officially at war. And Donald Trump will be maneuvered into it, suckered, because he has been riding the coattails of Netanyahu, and Netanyahu's the one who's making decisions, and he's forcing Donald Trump's hand. And there's nothing Donald Trump can do except for ride or die with him, because he doesn't want to look weak. They got his number. At the moment, I was telling people before Donald Trump became president, I said, if Donald Trump gets in with his sycophants, we don't have a chance in hell. Any country with enough money can be able to mess with us. Donald Trump will make a deal with the devil in a heartbeat. He is the devil in my mind. And that would mess us up because of that mentality of his. Money, 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 and no respect. People that have given their lives, in a sense, for him. And I ain't talking about like life or death. I'm talking about their careers for him. He's tossed them out with the bathwater. Where Rudy Giuliani at? This dude ran around the country lying for him, left and right. And then when he was down 100 million or something like that, and Trump was like, I feel sorry for you, bro. You mean tell me I lost everything lying for you, and you won't even pay your lawyer bills, your legal fees? Say what? This man never pays anybody, yet they keep on putting themselves on the line for him. I'm like, yo, you got to have some dirt on these people, because I don't know anybody in my life that is stupid enough to keep giving me money and I never give them nothing back. I don't contact them. I don't say nothing to them. I don't do nothing. This man's receiving hundreds of millions of dollars from people and don't give him jack in return. Thank you, Follow on Fire. Good to see you again. Thank you for the donation of $10. I see you being loco, a member for 6 months. BB and Trump are trying to stay out of prison. Big time. Something's wrong with them being loco, because that is ridiculous. And we're going to be the brunt of that. Because again, we can't fight these wars. I mean, I know we got bombs. They're talking about dropping a 30,000 pound bomb or some shit like that with over 5,000 or 6,000 pounds of actual like explosives in it. But I guess the bomb is built so that it goes so many hundreds of feet or 1,000 feet or some shit under the ground, 100 feet, couple hundred feet, 200 feet, I think, in the ground or something like that before it explodes. And supposedly the nuclear plant is 300 feet below ground. So they'd have to drop a few of them to get rid of their nuclear plant or whatever. But I don't know. I'm not a military person, but it just doesn't make any sense. It sounds like to me, you got a place with a bunch of like radioactive crap and you're going to blow it up. Now, wouldn't that blow up like a nuclear bomb once it hits? I mean, there's nuclear stuff there, right? And you're bringing the ignition to the fire. Wouldn't that blow up like the entire region? Not just their location? I mean, wouldn't radiation be everywhere? I mean, maybe I'm off. Anybody in the military, let me know. Maybe I'm off. I deployed to Iraq, several deployments. All I can say, all I see with getting involved in Iran is now we don't have an ally in the world that will side with America this next go round. Exactly. We are losing our respect around the world. And right now, to be honest with you, I don't know of any Democrat, Independent, or Republican after Trump that will bring that back to us. I can't think of one that has enough pull to bring that back. I mean, I know Kamala's up next if it actually happens, and I believe that she could possibly do that. But again, this country's got to get past having a woman as a president and then a woman of color as a president. And that's going to be hard. Even though we got some great people in this country, we got a massive amount of people that hate women and a massive amount of people that vote, that hate black women. So it's going to be hard. I'm not saying anything's impossible, but it's going to be hard. But just put your thinking caps on. Who do you think would be the next president that could bring back respect globally for our allies coming back together, being level-headed? But here's the thing. I should put yourself in a position of the other country. I got to itch my back, but put yourself in a position of the other countries that are our allies, right? Say you are the country out in the audience, and let's say, God forbid, let's say I'm Trump, okay? And then I leave, and there's other people here from America, but MAGA hasn't died. Republicans haven't died. That's their distaste, MAGA, Republicans. So the next president, if it is a Republican, we don't have that trust anymore. If it's a Democrat, we got to build it. We don't have it automatically. We got to build it. Here's the thing. In order for us, and this is my adding up just human behavior. You're out in the audience. Would you trust me? Let's say I'm America and you're another country. Would you trust America if another Republican got into office? Now ask yourself the question, would you trust America if a Democrat got into office? I would say no. Why do I say no? Because I'm looking for a long-term relationship with you. If all I got is 4, at best 8 years with you, do I really want to fuck with you? Because I know your level of being dedicated or loyal to a situation is only 4 to 8 years long. And if it's a Republican, it's no long-term nothing. You can wake up in the middle of the night and have a dream, and next thing you know, you don't want to have to deal with them anymore. Spend a year and a half with them trying to make a deal. Let's start back over. That's a Republican. Then Democrats look like you're so weak. Why do I want to be negotiating with you? In the next 4 years, if not 2 years, when the Republicans take over the House or Senate, you're worthless to us. Why on earth do I need you? It's great to have you, but why do I need you? That's what I see. If I am an ally, I'll be saying, you know what? America is a fair weather ally. Every 2 to 4 years, we or even 4 to 8 years, depends on what it is. No, put it every 2 years, because then they usually change up the order of the House and Senate. All right? So every 2 years, we're on this roller coaster with America. They love us, hate us, love us, hate us, love us, hate us, love us, hate us. It's like, dude, this is a toxic relationship. Why would if I'm another country, France, Mexico, Canada, why would I care about America? Because you guys aren't consistent. You're consistently inconsistent. And we got to start back over with y'all. As soon as your greed kicks in, I feel a little greedy. I feel more greedy today. Let's change the deal. And be like, man, we just did this shit 2 years ago. This is just supposed to last longer than 2 years. Let's do this for like a decade. It's working. That's inconsistency. And people are like, nah, I don't want to do that. What's up, Chuck? So I ended up going and checking out a video of Obama. He said something recently. I think it was either last week or yesterday. I didn't get the exact date, but let's go ahead. I got this, I think, from All In or something like that. Let's get it.
We start drifting into something that is not consistent with American democracy. It is consistent with autocracies. We're not there yet completely, but I think that we are dangerously close to normalizing behavior like that. And we need people both outside government and inside of government saying, let's not go over that over that cliff, because it's hard to recover. We start.
That's the truth. It's hard to recover. And there's things that, again, I am appreciative of him coming out and speaking on this for level-headed people. That's awesome. And he's talking about, and I think the world needs that calmness to actually get it out to some degree. But I'm more of the ones that's just kind of like, for me, I'm aggressive with it, because listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, these people aren't listening to the calmer heads. They're just not. He can reach some of these people, but again, Donald Trump unlocked their hate. They hate Obama when they voted for him. Many of them did. They hate Obama and don't realize that the reason they hate him is because he's black. They think it's because some issue or something. It's like, nah. You don't like the man being black. He did such a great job that he made it seem like we don't need white leaders. For these racist ones, that's what they took out of it. We don't need white leaders. That's why they wanted to make him a loser from day one. We can't have him be successful. Then what they'll think about us? Maybe they'll think that you need to kick your game up and be better than that black guy, as opposed to just skating and think that you can skate and do little for your people and get a shit ton of money. And maybe you just heighten yourself a little bit, work a little bit harder. But no, we want to destroy anything that sounded like hope, that sounded like positivity, that sounded like they was trying to do good for others. It's crazy how you never heard Obama once say anything about race, like black people could do this and whatever. Only when he built his own little program, Am I My Brother's Keeper or something like that, Brother's Keeper. That was a program he built for black men to be lifted up, young boys to men. Wonderful. He had a project like that. He never divided black people. These racist white people did. They said everything he said, they would say the opposite of. Everything he did, they said it was a reason he did it because he was black. I'm like, he helped out health care for all because he wanted his white mother to live and wanted better health for her. His mother was white. They didn't care about that. They demonized this man every which way they could. A white mom raised with white people, but black skin. And they try to make it seem like he came from the projects. Just hung out with nothing but thugs. Harvard Law Review. You got to be smarter than shit to do these types of things. He didn't come from money, so he earned it. And they just hated the fact of this success story, when it should have been America's proudest moment to say, look where we've come. At least for one man and his family, it's come from enslavement to this. And his family's from Africa, so I don't even believe his family was here during enslavement. But just the visual of it is a one of hope, one of saying America's going places. Let's just keep on this train. No, they did an about face. The reason why we have what we have today, such division and hate and Trump, is because a black man came in and did a good job. And hateful people are pissed off at that they brought in the town white idiot to say, look what a white idiot can do. Our dumbest is smarter than their smartest. Same old bullshit they try to push on you. Their dumbest is smarter than our brightest because they're superior, because God helped them create the word white. Some of the most inane, idiotic shit you ever heard that people actually believe. Believe your own eyes. I don't see where anything's superior about any one race. I see black people who can run fast. I've seen white people. I've seen Latin people. I've seen Asian people run fast at the speed. I've seen great basketball players at different races. You got, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. I mean, come on. There is no like DNA that says that you are greater than the other. But they believe so. That's why they run around saying that. Because they see there's more of us winning when it comes to that type of thing. So they got to say it. We don't say it. If you want to say that you're supreme in anything, our generation, or at least my generation, but our culture is prove it. Don't talk about it, be about it. They talk about it more than they be about it. These racists who call themselves supreme. Kind of crazy, right? But it was so good to hear Obama speak on this process. I think we need to be more forceful in the conversation. But I also like the fact that, again, my thing is that it's very subtle what he's saying. If you listen to this conversation, it's very subtle. And I think it needs to be more in your face. He should have the dude. You remember the angry Obama dude? I was at Mad TV. Not Mad TV. It was Key and Peele, and he played the angry Obama translator. We need that dude to speak while President Obama is standing there, because he needs to say, because he said, like in this situation, we need regular citizens and basically billionaires to fight for us. But you didn't get that. He kind of like, we all gotta chip in and help out and this, that, and the third, whatever. And we just need to be a part of that. And hopefully, we won't lose democracy. I'm like, dude, it's a 5-alarm fire. You too calm for the fire. Tell them to get off their ass real quick. Billionaires, put some money behind this shit and save democracy. Quit being quiet. Speak up like Tyler Perry, a billionaire who's speaking up. Speak up. That's what I want to say. Other than that, love Obama. But that's the way I feel like it's too calm. We need to get in there and fight for this shit. It's like anything else. If you go up to a person that's trying to take something from you and say, could you please give it back? I mean, calmer heads will prevail. Just hand me back my property. That fool gonna look at you like, take it. It's mine now. You need to come up to him and chop him right in the throat and give him my shit back. And that's how you're going to get your shit back. So that's what these people need, a chop in the throat. Proverbial, not necessarily really, but you get my point. Scream at them, yell at them, tell them to stop. Are you more than welcome, 5 Alarm Fire? So I love the fact that he came out and said something. And I told you about this war stuff with Donald Trump. I believe it's hype just to get you guys talking about it, everybody talk about it. Thank you, DJ, of all people, have the nerve to say there's no place for hate in politics. Right? There's no place for it. But there's a lot of people doing it. That's when they divided the whole process when Obama got in. That's who caused the hate, and then blame him for the hate. Like, he never mentioned hate, but it was all them. Who was it? Senator, what's his name? I always call him like, not Myrtle the turtle, but one of those turtles. Mitch McConnell, because he got I don't know what that thing is on his neck. But yeah, he reminds me of that turtle from back in the day. The slow turtle that would race Cecil the turtle. Cecil. Yeah, that's who he reminded me of. But anyway, just to give you guys, because I'm almost done here, I told you I was going to break down Donald Trump. Did you guys know, and we already knew that he had 6 casinos. in which all 6 failed, right? Now, the first one was the Taj Mahal. Okay, that opened up April 1990. It went to Chapter 11, July 1991. This man paid $273 million up front. And then he floated $675 million in the 14% of the junk bonds to finish construction. So he spent $273 million for a casino that wasn't renovated or fixed up whatsoever. And he spent almost 3 times as much to renovate it. Almost $1 billion this man spent. And within 6 months of their red carpet opening, his interest alone toppled $95 million a year. Who does that? I don't know if you remember, he used to have a airplane business called Trump Shuttle or Airline or something like that. And he had another one. He had a yacht called the Trump Princess. He had to like hawk those to pay like personal guarantees on that building because he had borrowed up to his freaking neck and didn't have the money to pay the bills on it. So it went bankrupt. After that, in 1984, he had the Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino. It opened up May 1984, filed Chapter 11, May 1992. It was a joint venture with Holiday Inn, no less. It cost $210 million. Now, this was at that time cheap by the standards, but it was still debt heavy. So by 1992, we hit somewhat of a recession, and they didn't have enough cash flow to stay up. So he had to pre-package some kind of bankruptcy, had to cut interest, and then it let the door stay open for a small time. And then after that, he went to a bunch of lawsuits and it was gone. His third one, Trump Castle, later called the Trump Marina. It was acquired in 1984, June 1984. Chapter 11 filed the same day as the Plaza, March 1992. He filed bankruptcy on 2 casinos on the exact same date. He bought the half-finished marina, Hilton Marina, for $320 million. He was trying to make it the Monaco on the marina, to make like this boardwalk properties. His gambling revenues from the casino never matched his debt. He was unable to make a $338 million bond payment. So he negotiated a 50% equity swap with the bond holders. I'll give you 50% of the business and a 7.5% interest cut. And once he did that, he filed bankruptcy like lightning quick. So he can get them in on his debt. I mean, that crooked that this man got somebody to purchase the bonds to buy his debt, 50% equity in the business. He knew the business was going down. So he got them to give him money and he'll give them 50% of the business. And they thought the business was doing good, I guess. As soon as he got that money, this man headed straight to Chapter 11 so that he could end up putting them through the bankruptcy. They lost their money. but he left with money. Just demonic, y'all. Just demonic. That was 3. Number 4, casino. Trump Hotels and Casinos Resorts was a holding company. It filed Chapter 11 November 2004. It says here, by the early 2000s, the 3 Atlantic City casinos and a riverboat. He had a riverboat in Indiana. They folded into this one public company that Trump controlled. The debt had ballooned to $1.8 billion with more than $200 million a year in interest. The bankruptcy, which was in 2004, converted roughly $544 million of bonds into equity. Trump's personal stake, it slid by 47% to 27%. But yet, throughout that whole process, he remained the chairman. His 5th casino is called Trump Entertainment Resorts. Chapter 11, February 2009. It was also renamed to this business that he had. It was called THCR. It missed a $53 million bond interest payment after the 2008 crash. It saw protection owing about $1.2 billion. Trump quit the board in protest, but struck a deal with Avenue Capital, a venture capital company, for 5% stock plus another 5% of the for the perpetual, thank you, right to use his name. So in this deal, he gave up 5% of the right for perpetuity. That means forever. The right to use his name. And so at the end of it, he owned just a sliver of this business, the Trump Entertainment Resort. But his name was on the marquee, which means everything when we talk about it in a hot second, what that means. You out of here, Mike? Take care. Kristen said, loser falls uphill. Yeah. And I'm going to end this to tell you what I think about this and how this all works. How I did the research on this. You can do it as well and see why this stuff happens. But that was number 5, Trump Entertainment Resorts. Number 6 was the Trump Entertainment Resort again. He named another one, Trump Entertainment Resort. And this was filed for, unless this was like they filed it once. I think one of them he filed twice. So it might be the same resort he filed 2 bankruptcies on. So this is the one he filed twice on one. So you knew of 5 DJ. There's 5 altogether. He filed bankruptcy twice on one of them. So that made it 6. And that was the Trump Entertainment Resort. September 2014. This is before he became president. He filed bankruptcy on this. He held no managerial role, yet his license name still hung over the Taj Mahal and the shuttered plaza. This company that he had, Trump Entertainment Resorts, was controlled by bondholders, sought court protections and had like pensions and tax disputes. There is a billionaire by the name of Carl Icahn. He ended up converting it to debt, to ownership, and closed the Taj in 2016, and he ended up selling it to Hard Rock. That was the 6th bankruptcy in which Donald Trump ended up not having anything to do with it. It was sold to Hard Rock hotel and casinos, whatever it's going to be. So he had 6. Now, my question, and I started doing research on it, is like, why would these businesses continue to invest in Trump when he's done lost billions of dollars? Billions of dollars for them. Bankruptcies left and right. Like I said, in one of them, he literally got money to give somebody 50% of his business when he knew the business was failing, took that money and ran and got a bankruptcy, filed a bankruptcy. Once you get that money and file a bankruptcy, all the assets just go into one spot, right? And then you get your money. Like if you came in last, you're the last to get your money. He got that payment from them immediately. They're the last person to invest in him. The people who started out with him, the original 320 million, whatever's left in that building, they're guaranteed whatever money's left if they sell it. The dude or whoever he sold it to, he knew he was stiffing them the moment he took their money. This is the person they got as a president. A shifty, horrible human being that steals people's money, doesn't pay people. I asked myself, why would these people still want to invest in him all these years, knowing that he's never ran a successful business? I want you guys to understand something. Donald Trump has never had a successful business. Not once. All of them have failed. I didn't say every other one. All of them have failed. The only thing that stayed afloat was his name, the brand. All the other businesses die. Now ask yourself, if all of his businesses are dying, again, why would you want to get in bed with this man? Well, here's the thing. A lot of these banks, up to like, I think 40, it said one of them, or one of the things said 70, but I just run with 40 to be conservative. Of these banks gave him money. And after that, they was like, I'm done. We out. American banks was like, we ain't doing no more. We out. A lot of them lost their money. Some of them broke even, meaning if they gave him 10 million, they got 10 million back. But you don't put $10 million in to get 10 million back. You want some kind of equity. You don't put some time in it, work in it. You don't gave your resources. You don't hook them up with people and stuff like that. You get your money back. It's a waste. You don't lost money, to be honest. Right? If you're looking at this as a real investment, as an investor, you lost money. No interest or nothing. Okay. So why would you continue wanting to be in business with him? This is where you're going to realize, how did Trump become president of the United States? Why do these people think of Donald Trump as a success when he is the ultimate failure, the biggest loser ever? I don't know of anybody who's lost as much as Trump. But how does a loser still be like considered a billionaire? Right? Go back and look and see what happened for these people to get their money back. See, these businesses started to realize, and these investors, because he even went over to other countries to get money, and they realized something too. Now, you would think like they were stupid. They're stupid to give them money. No. What they did was they realized betting on Trump is a loser for business. Always has been. But betting on Trump for a brand has been a winner. Always has been. Right? They came up, the earlier people who were losing money, they realized the only real money that they was making was off these licenses, because they didn't owe Trump nothing but 5% of it. They got 95%, because Donald Trump got himself, well, that one business did, but Donald Trump got himself in a bad situation with that company, and therefore he sold the rights to his name for perpetuity. Now you got to think about it. You just said that he can use his name for perpetuity. That means who else can use it? Can Trump use it again? And if he does, are they receiving, like again, it doesn't talk about it, but are they receiving 9% or is he receiving 95%? You owed him a lot of money. I don't know. He made deals or whatever it may be, but still 5% of it is what I think he receives out of it. They get the 95%. So he's out there making deals, getting 5% of everybody. You want to use Trump? Want to use Trump? And he's got to have the rights for them to do so. But the idea was they realized Trump is a loser, but everybody thinks he's a winner. That's weird. How do they think he's a winner when we're losing money? We ain't doing nothing but losing money with this dude. And what did he go into? Casinos. What do they love to do more? Bet. And so what do? They came together and decided Trump is a loser in business, but he's a winner in marketing and brand. So we're going to get into deals with him. We'll give him money and so forth. But the brand itself is bringing us in hundreds of millions of dollars. We can give him a little chunk, 15 million, 20 million, whatever the hell it may be to do what he's doing. But they're pimping him out for his name. So while he's out there saying Trump, 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 other people own Trump. Trump don't own all of Trump. His name is owned by other people. So Trump hats, Trump this, Trump that. You think he's getting all that? No. Trump owes people for his name. That's how he started paying off his debts. He sold his brand name. Now, I got to determine, because just off of this, I didn't realize which side they're talking about. Hopefully, he's getting the 95%, but it made it seem like Trump is only getting 5%. But let me look at it real quick. It says, so it sounds like he's getting 5% from this one. I'll do research on that. But there's a 95 to 5% split. Somebody's getting it, but he sold his name. These businesses started buying up his name, the rights to his name. Now, I got to research this too, because if they got 5%, if they got his name for perpetuity, then how is he being able to sell his name anymore if he sold it? But they need him. That was the whole thing, is like the whole process of these businesses came together because they realized we can sell everything Trump and make a lot of money off of it. His businesses suck. Oh, he got Apple. He had a Trump water and Trump steaks and Trump this and Trump that. He has been a brand whore. That's the whole process. Donald Trump can't run shit. He literally has to sell his father's name, grandfather's name, in order to make money. Other than that, Donald Trump's a complete, utter loser. Without the name, he's trash. And the reason why it went to his name is because everything else failed. These billionaires don't like him. He's lost more of their money, but they've been able to make their money back by his brand. If his brand dies, the money stops flying for him because he has nothing else but the name. That's how Donald Trump is making money. That's why you see him put Trump on everything. Trump coin, Trump meme coin. He's just shooting at whatever make. And because it's not his. Donald Trump don't know nothing about no damn meme coins. Donald Trump don't know nothing about, think about it. Do you really think Donald Trump understands cryptocurrency? I promise you he can't spell it. I promise you he probably can't even say it. He is throwing his name on it, and he's getting paid up front to have his name on it and a percentage, whatever they make. That's the deal. When they talk about him being a deal maker, he didn't make the deal. The deal made him. He owed people so much money that he licensed off his name so that he'd get out of trouble. Think about that for a second. The guy who's running the country couldn't manage his businesses. He went so broke that he literally had to sell off pieces of his name so that he can come back on top. Gotta do what you gotta do, I get it. But then he tried to sell himself off as a big businessman. And if you go back and look at the things that made him like this great big businessman, the millionaires and billionaires who gave him money, says he sucks. Complete failure. Marketing genius. He's not even a genius of marketing. They came up with the idea that the money itself, the business acumen was horrible. It was the money that they was making off of his name that they kept. That's why they took his name and ran it to India and all over the world, putting it all over the place. And Donald Trump would just get a check because they did all the work. That's how he built himself back up to get wealthy again, is by marketing his name that his dad did. Now, I give him credit for being able to do it, but the reality is he was forced into it. It wasn't something he wanted to do. It was something he had to do because he had borrowed so much money he couldn't pay back. Had so many bankruptcies and didn't give everybody their money, so they had to force it out of him. Give us your name. Give us pieces of your name. And we'll be okay with that. And then they started pushing his name out there. That's how he ended up getting the TV show. Around that time, that's when he got that TV show, whatever it was called, the one where he says you get fired. That TV show is a part of the marketing scheme to make this man look like he was this big businessman. But if you listen to the people who produced it, Donald Trump sucked at business. His business smelled like complete shit. They walked in and was like, we can't film in here. People ain't gonna never believe this dude's got money looking at what we got here. A pack rat who stinks in his whole room, his conference room, horrific. Shit from back in the 60s in that bitch still. They went and rented out a space, built it, everything from the office to everything, to the car he was in, just so they could make it look like this dude was this rich, living lavish, like he was on Robin Leach or some shit. And he was literally living like he was in squalor. Richness around him, but everything's dirty, mangy, funky. And they turned this dude into something that he wasn't to make money. And then the country, a part of the people who loved that shit, fell for this fraud. I give it to him. They marketed the shit out of this dude to make him look like a winner, and they still think he's a winner when he's the ultimate loser. Exactly. Trump is fell on fire. Yeah, exactly. They're making a lot of money on his merch. Yeah, because he's buying it from China. And even now they're making more money from it because he's buying it still, and including the tariffs. So yeah, that's Donald Trump for you in a nutshell. This man is the biggest loser. And these people literally think this man's a winner. I don't know what gives them that idea. I do know the marketing, but you should be able to see at some point in time that this marketing is just that. I mean, think about it. You can't think that for some reason that this man can have all of these businesses in his life and all of them fail. Now, everybody knows that you're going to try some and lose some, try some and lose some. That ain't even a problem right there. But this man builds himself to be winning when he's losing. And the way he's winning, and he says the art of the deal, which I've never read, but the art of the deal, you have to understand, the deal for him is, I don't really work. If my dad had not built our name up, I'd be broke. I don't know how to run anything. I know how to be a shyster, but running a business? I run scams. That's Donald Trump. I run scams. I don't run businesses. Donald Trump does not keep his word for jack. Oh, these shoes are going to be great. Wonderful. Look at these gold, ugly fucking shoes. Yeah, wonderful. Great. I'd wear them. Yeah, that's then they buy. Days later, that same shoe they bought, one dude bought for $15,000. I got the first one. You was a dumbass, but all the rest of them buying it for $300 and they sold out. You know what? A lot of those people never received their shoes. Ran out and didn't make any more. And they kept their money. And MAGA's so stupid, they allowed it. You don't see no lawsuits. $300 shoes. And you don't even have them anymore. Didn't get them. Then he went on to figures and cards and, everything but fucking Pokemon cards this dude came out with. They're gone. This man was charging $99 for one card. Sold out. That's what they said, just so that they can build up the hype. But they had more. As soon as they opened it back up, sold out. People kept buying it. That right there is the entire game, y'all. Market, market, market. You too can have a piece of richness, and then you buy it and you get nothing for it. You want to sell it, it's worthless. That's the gimmick. And these people have yet to wake up to realize they've been taken. That's his game. Always has been. And he got it because he was in debt and couldn't pay it back. That's how it happened. And they came up with a strategy to make it all about the marketing, because that's the only thing that worked. Trump this, Trump this, Trump this. It worked. But the actual business failed. So these people stopped investing in Donald Trump for his businesses. They just wanted his name, and they'd pay him money to use his name and do what you want with it. Go out and make steaks, make water, make whatever. I don't care. Do what you want, but I get a piece of the name. So whatever you sell with your name in, I'm buying your name. I ain't buying the product. To hell with the product. Because I know these business people knew it's going to fail. But it's how long it's going to take before it fails. Donald Trump does not own his name. He licensed the hell out of it. People have a license for perpetuity, meaning they can use it for anything. So when you're walking out here in some of these MAGA hats throughout this whole process, and MAGA shoes and MAGA this and MAGA that, you best believe the people that he owed money to and that they own a piece of that name, they were selling those hats and shit too. They were making their money off of him. Smart move. But in that same strategy, they created a monster. We have a hyper loser. I mean, just like through the stratosphere loser, grifter, a fraud that these people put into office because they thought of him as being better than Obama because they couldn't like black. They went straight from a wholesome black guy to a criminal white dude. Think about that for a second. Wholesome black guy hated him so much because he was black and they wanted to put somebody white back in. They put in the antithesis of what they've said their entire lives they stood for. Family man, no more. Obama's too much of a family man. Can't get nobody like that. We don't care about family men no more now. Oh, because Obama showed out that he didn't cheat on his wife with his wife forever. Now you go with a man that rapes people. So much hate as you went from wholesome to rape. You see the juxtaposition of what they went through after they realized a good black guy was there. Let's go for this dude, the degenerate white dude. You had so many other white men, Republicans, who were more wholesome men that had, been with their wives for 30, 40 years, that had morals but just had different ideals, that believed in health care for people, for their people, that weren't into wars and that were men, not wussies that always want affection and attention. But that's what they went to. The complete opposite. I mean, complete opposite. Obama, leader, strong, smart. Trump, weak, dumb, ineffective. And they call that merit, because to put them next to each other, you can tell if you wanted to talk about just individual, not even just about race. If you want to talk about the supremacy, and by matching just Trump and Obama up, Trump doesn't have a chance. None whatsoever. You'd have to put Trump up to a fifth grader. Then you might have a chance. I still got my money on the fifth grader. Go look him up. Go look at his businesses. You'll see the man's an utter loser, and he's running our country. And we got to wait for this man to make some decisions that's going to make our life better or worse. And Trump can't make our life better. He's supposed to come in a minute, in a day, I'm in the war. As soon as I come in, I ain't even got to be in office. Just the idea of me coming in office, people are just going to lower the prices of shit. And as soon as he gets in, you guys can handle prices going higher, can't you? I didn't think so. It's going to take me a while. I thought it was the next day or the day of or right even before you became. And you get MAGA doing what? Well, he just got in. It's how the pot. I said, so if when Biden came in, you guys wanted him to do the changes immediately. And he didn't get to them, all of them immediately, but he did do some things immediately. Donald Trump was immediate, attacking people of color, Latin people. I see Asian people getting attacked now, snatched off the ground. Muslim people, snatch them off the ground. Senators, controllers, mayors. Yeah, that's what he's doing immediately. It's been going on 6 months here in 3 days. Or is it 5 months? Yeah, 5 months because he came in January. So it's 5 months here in 3 days. And this man has accomplished abso-fucking-lutely nothing. He accomplished I ain't gonna say that, take it back. He's accomplishing destroying democracy. I know that the Republicans wanted a disruption, a break. Even Democrats and independents wanted a break from the norm. But ask yourself, did you want this? This is what they get asking a man who couldn't even plan his own life well, who got out of his failures because of his father's $400-something million, which he went broke with, but got out of the failures because his dad's name that he built, the brand that he built, is what kept him afloat this entire time. Donald Trump would be homeless if it had to deal with his skills. His name is worthless. If he couldn't take his name with him, it's worthless. He's worthless. Gimmicks is all he can pull off. But without this persona, this marketing ploy that billionaires put on him so that they can make the money off of him because he sucked at business, and they felt stupid that they gave this man all of these motherfucking billions of dollars for him to go bankrupt 6 times. And the banks to say, I can't give you no more money. And for him to go overseas and ask for banks until they couldn't give him no more money, he's at his wit's end. But that brand name that Pop gave him is staying afloat to today. And the skills that his dad gave him also, because his dad was a shyster and so was his grandfather, being a shyster has allowed him to take his name and continue to make money. And his brand of hate. Donald Trump literally, in essence, is saying, when he says this, and I got to go after this, is he says to the fact of, I love the poorly educated. What Donald Trump is saying to everybody when he says that is very narcissistic. Donald Trump, when he says he loves the poorly educated, he's saying, I love myself. He's not saying he loves them. He's saying, I love me because you are me. I just had a father with millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. You too could be where I'm at if your dad had gotten $400 million or more. But outside that money, I'm just one big ass dummy. And that's the truth. Yeah, the flags he added. Somebody told me how big they were. I haven't seen it yet. I was doing something pretty much all day and got home last minute. Eric Trump. Right? I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you for any donations anybody gave me off any of the social media apps, Zelle. I think I got PayPal on there as well. Cash App. Appreciate it for that. Everyone who's donated in the room, I appreciate you. Give you love real quick. Again, DJ, thank you for the $10. Five on Fire, thank you for the 5. Thank you for the extra 10. Being Loco, thank you for being a member. It says we're here for 6 months, loving it. Appreciate you guys. All my people in the room, much love to y'all. Always educating each other, having a good time. I see you in here. I see Kristen, Benny Loco, Five on Fire. See what else as I go up to the top. I think I already said Kristen. Mark D. I see you, brother. Yeah, I think that's it. I see you, Chuck, and everybody else in here. Much love to y'all. Y'all have a great night. I'll be back here tomorrow, 5:30-ish p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Today I was late. But I'll see you guys tomorrow, as always. Much love. Excuse me. And I see you when I see you.